that I am. That means pray for me.
That's right.
Your end is your beginning.
That's it. That's it.
I'll say it again.
That's it. Yes, it is.
Your end is your beginning. When I first learned the Bible, I learned the book of Genesis. Genesis is where?
The beginning. It's the beginning. It's the beginning. It's the beginning.
Okay, watch this. Your end is your beginning. Our beginning and end are connected because it's a circle. So if everybody draw a circle with your hand. Are there any end points? In the beginning, God said, let there be. At the end, there was.
Yeah. Come on now. Come on.
Your beginning is your end. Your end is your beginning. It is a circle that connects. Okay, I'm going to tell y'all what God said for y'all. In the beginning, God made you a promise. So guess what? At the end, you're going to get your promise.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the beginning, God planned your destiny. At the end, you will fulfill your destiny.
That's it. That's it.
God called us from the womb. That's the place in the where?
Beginning.
In the beginning. And at the end, I'm going back to that place, which is glory, and I'm going to set some others free.
Yeah.
My beginning is my end. My end is my beginning. So I'm going to walk this circle out.
That's right. We're going to
Walk it out.
Yeah, we will.
In order for your beginning and end to connect, you've got to walk that circle. Not an option. Can't waver with God. You can't tell God, well, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it next Thursday. Or, you know what, can I start at January 1st, 2014? He said, no, you're going to walk this thing out now. Now, depending on how big that circle is. Okay, so you draw a circle. You can draw a circle any size you want. Am I right?
Yeah.
You can make them small, medium, big. That's how kids learn their shapes, right? Okay, well, check this out. Depending on how big your beginning and your end is, depends on how deep your middle is.
Wow.
So because you don't know what the middle is, that's why you got to have the right identity. Because the identity of the sameness, you know that he said he will be with you until the end. But with that right identity, you've got on the full armor of God. So it don't matter how deep I sink, be on death row, I'm going to make it through that circle.
Yes.
That's it.
Man does not identify you. And if you let them, you have undergone identity crisis.
Wow.
So we've got what is identity, what is identity theft, and now identity crisis. Identity crisis is a personal, psychological, we think psycho, crazy, woo-woo, yeah, you know, right? Okay. That's a personal, psychological conflict, especially in adolescence, that involves confusion about one's social role. So you don't know how you're supposed to act, talk, dress, but you want to socialize. God said, no. If you're going to loose yourself from the identity crisis, then I need you to socialize like my son. Identity crisis leads to a lot of people having plastic surgery.
Come on now.
They have been identified by man. Man has told them what they're supposed to look like. So what has happened is their identity has been stolen. Now, understand in some instances, plastic surgery is necessary. Okay? Some people have to undergo that for reconstruction, bad car wrecks, whatever. But what about when it's not necessary? God said, don't walk into an unfamiliar environment experiencing identity crisis. Because what's going to happen is you're going to fill out that application. They're going to tell you it's $8,000. I got it right in the bank. And then you walk out, or you go in, not knowing what you're going to look like when you come out. You trust in man.
Come on.
James 1:23 through 25. It says, those who hear and don't act are like those who glance in the mirror, walk away, and 2 minutes later have no idea who they are and what they look like. But whoever catches a glimpse of the revealed counsel of God, the free life, even out of the corner of his eye, and sticks with it, is no distracted scatterbrain, but a man or woman of action. That person will find delight and affirmation in the action. When we go home today, we need to look in the mirror. We don't need to see us. We need to see Christ.
That's it.
We can't forget where we came from, nor the image that God has made us in. Now, if you are seriously lost, don't raise your hand. But if you're really lost, you don't know your identity, I suggest going to Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom. He'll add your identity back.
Yes, he will.
He said, seek me first.
That's right.
Don't call your auntie. Auntie, what did I look like when I was born? What did I look like when I was 6? Do you remember what I looked like when I was a teenager? No. Go back to the identity in the womb. Don't get to a point to where you just don't know anymore. Not knowing who you are, your purpose, your destiny, how you should look, dress, walk, talk, who you should be around, who you shouldn't be around. If you're around some folks and it really seems wrong, it's probably wrong. You might need to let those folks go. 2 Corinthians 5:16 through 20 says, because of this decision, we don't evaluate people by what they have or how they look. We looked at the Messiah that way once and got it all wrong. As you know, we certainly don't look at him that way anymore. Now we look inside, and what we see is that anyone united with the Messiah gets a fresh start and is created new. The old life is gone. New life, Virgions, look at it. All this comes from the God who settled the relationship between us and him, and then called us to settle our relationships with each other. God put the world square with himself through the Messiah, giving the world a fresh start by offering forgiveness of sins. God has given us the task of telling everyone what he is doing. We're Christ's representatives. God uses us to persuade men and women to drop their differences and enter into God's work of making things right between them. We're speaking for Christ himself now, because friends with God, he's already a friend with you. He's saying drop your differences. Mend that relationship, because I mended it with you. So how do you have the right to be mad at so-and-so, don't want to talk to them, act like you love them, you hug them, but they really getting on your nerves, but he doesn't do us that way. When wearing the full armor of God, we should always be in the upright position, because the spirit overtakes the flesh.
Yes.
Be in a season of refusal to the enemy, because he can't have what he already lost. Don't give it to him. He lost it a long time ago. Right. He actually lost it in the beginning.
Yeah.
So if he lost it in the beginning, you know at the end, he already lost it, already connected.
Yeah.
They wanted to change Jesus' identity. And we talked about how they spat on him. You know, they crucified him. But because Jesus had accepted and committed to that identity that God had given them, on the third day, he rose. So if you commit and accept that identity that Christ has given you, evaluate ourselves, we know that we will rise.
Yes.
That's it.
God was telling me that it's a time for us to be on one accord. He said that Safe House is not just in this school. Safe House is all over.
That's right.
It's not coincidence that Safe House has the name of Safe House.
That's right.
How many individuals are lost out there because they can't find their identity and they need a safe
That's it.
But you can't witness to nobody with the wrong identity. They gonna see something that's just ugly and messed up.
Yeah.
But when you got the right identity on the inside, the glory is gonna shine on the outside. You should be able to take your sister by the hand and tell her, come with me because we're in a safe house of glory.
Yeah.
It's not coincidence that you are in a safe house.
That's it.
It's not just a title. It's not just the name of a ministry. It is a safe house.
Yeah.
Stand with me for a minute. Everyone stretch your hands and repeat after me. Father, I stretch my hands to thee.
I stretch my hands to thee.
Take my hands.
Take my hands.
And bring me back in, God.
And bring me back in,
To
God.
the place where I first received you.
To the place where I first received you.
In the womb.
In the womb.
God, you knew me.
God, you knew me.
Before anyone.
Before anyone.
God, remake me.
God, remake me.
Remold me.
Remold me.
Reshape me.
Reshape me.
Make me back into.
Make me back into
the image in which you created.
the image in which you created.
Cleanse me.
Cleanse me.
Heal me.
Heal me.
Purge me.
Purge me.
Transform me.
Transform me.
Renew me.
Renew me.
Revive me.
Revive me.
Wipe away old scars.
Wipe away old scars.
Wipe away old tears.
Wipe away old tears.
Wipe away old hurts.
Wipe away old hurt.
Wipe away old pain.
Wipe away old
For
pain.
I have been made new.
For I have been made
For
new.
I am your child.
For I am your child.
I am your creation.
I am your creation.
Save my identity, God.
Save my identity, God.
And allow my identity to shine.
And allow my identity to
So that
shine.
others' identity will change.
So that others' identity will change.
I
I want.
can't hear you.
I want
A new mind.
a new mind.
I
I want
a new heart.
a new heart.
I want
I want
a new walk.
a new walk.
I
I want
a new talk.
a new
I
talk.
want to be all
I want to be
that
all
you have called me to be.
that you have called me to be.
I will be all
I will be
that
all
you have called me to be.
that you have called me to be.
For I am changed.
For I am
And
changed
made whole again.
and made whole
God,
again.
thank you for a second chance.
God, thank you for a second
God, I thank you
chance.
for your saints now, God. God, I thank you for the word that
Yes,
moved
God.
forward, God. God, I just thank you for just allowing them to hear what you had to
Yes,
say,
God.
God. Not looking at what was on the outside, God, but hearing what was on the inside, God. God, change their mind, God. I see now, and I thank you for their new identity,
Yes,
God.
God.
God, move them and push them forth, God, to save other identities, God. God, we just thank you for just blessing them, God. We cast down any demonic spirit, God, that's
Yes,
trying to
God.
follow these saints home, God.
Yes, God.
God, we just put peace and anointing and angels
Yes,
before
God.
them, God. God, we just thank you for the angels that are protecting and around their
Yes,
heart,
God.
God. God, bless the children, God. God, we thank you for their new image and their new identity
Yes,
within
God.
your son, God. God, we thank you for these blessings in Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah.